Welcome to our lesson for today. Today we are looking at a topic coordinate geometry 1, and it's the same as straight lines. Now under coordinate geometry 1 we shall look at length or distance between 2 points. So when you have a line is obtained by joining 2 points. So we are going to look at the distance of the line joined by 2 points. Before we go to the length or distance between 2 points, let us try to give a little explanation to coordinate geometry 1. Now let us try to consider a Cartesian plane. Now Cartesian plane is over here, what is the same as x and y axis. So the x-axis is a horizontal line here, labeled the x, and then the y-axis is the vertical line here, labeled y. Now, let us consider any point in the xy plane. So we could see that there's a point here in the xy plane over here. Now this point is labeled point A. Now let's look at how we obtain this x and this y. So the point over here, let us trace it to the x-axis. So tracing this point to the x-axis, we could see that the value here is x. That is why we have the x over here. And then on the same point, tracing it to the y-axis, we have the value here y. So we have y here as well. So the coordinates of this point A is x and y. The coordinate of the point A is x, y. Now let's look at a typical example on the introduction to the coordinate geometry 1. Now once again we have our x-axis and then the y-axis. So any point in the xy plane, so we have xy plane here. Now let's try to look at the coordinates of this point. Now to look at the coordinates of this point, let us try to trace this point to the x-axis. So by doing so, we have the value here to be 4. So the value of x here is 4. And then tracing it to the y-axis, we could see that the value here is 3. So the coordinates of this point is 4, 3. Good. Now let's quickly move to how we can find the length or the distance between 2 points. Now once again we are going to consider xy plane. So x-axis is the horizontal line here, and then the y-axis is the vertical line over here. Now we are going to look at the distance between 2 points. So we have point A and point B. So we are going to look at the distance between them. Okay, we said that a line is obtained by joining 2 points. So we have the point A and point B, which are joined by a straight line. So we are just going to look at the distance between the point A and point B. Now on point A, how do we find the coordinates of point A? So we have the point A. How do we find the coordinates? So let us trace the point here to the x-axis and then the y-axis as well. So by tracing the point here to the x-axis, we could see that the value here is x1. So the value here has appeared over here. Now on the same point, tracing it to the y-axis, we could see that the value here is y1. So therefore the coordinates of the point A is x1, y1. Now let's move to the point B. How do we find the coordinates of the point B? So on the point B, we move to, or we trace to the x-axis, we could see that the value here is x2. On the same point, tracing it to the y-axis, we could see that the value here is what? y2. Therefore, the coordinate of the point B is x2, y2. Now, before we move on to how we can do the calculation, now every coordinate of a point is made up of x value and y value, and always we write the value on the x-axis first before we write the y-axis. The value on the y-axis. So we can see here that on the point A, the value on the x-axis is x1, and the value on the y-axis is y1. So we wrote the value on the x-axis first before the value on the y-axis. Now the same thing when we come to the point B. Now the value on the x-axis is x2, so we wrote that one first, and then the value on the y-axis is y2, so we write this one as well. So know that to write the coordinates of any point in xy plane, the value of x is written first before the value of y. Now let's come to know how we can calculate the distance between the 2 points. So on this diagram, the points is A and B. So we are just going to look at the distance between these 2 points AB. So mathematically, when we see 2 or AB in absolute bars, so this bars is what we call the absolute bars. It means we have find a distance or the length AB. Now the formula is given by square root of the difference in the values of x-axis squared plus the difference in the values on y-axis also squared. In other words, to find the distance between the 2 points AB, it is given by square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So let's see a typical example on this. So let's look at our first example. Example 1. Example 1, the question is, on our first example, we are to find the length of a line joining the point AB. We have to find the line or the length of a line joining the point AB. Now, before you can calculate the distance between 2 points or the length of a line joining 2 points, there's the need to know the values of x coordinates and then the values of y coordinates. So every point will give you x1, y1, and the other point will also give you x2, y2. So looking at our first point here, point A, we have our point A here giving us 1 and then 3. Okay, and our point B also giving us what? 4 and 7. Correct. So the value here, 1 here, is what? Our x1, and the value here is our what? y1. Now when it comes to the second point, the first value here is our x, which is what? x2, and then the 7 here is our y2. So using our formula, the distance between AB, and we said it is given by what? This is given by this is given by square root of x2 minus x1 all squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. Now we can see the values of x1 and y1 over there. So our x2 is over here 4. So that is 4 minus x1, which is 1 squared, plus y2 is 7 minus y1, which is 3 squared. So, and this is going to give us, so we can see our AB, the distance AB was 4 minus 1 squared plus 7 minus 3 squared. So we have 4 minus 1 is 3 squared plus 7 minus 3 is 4 squared. So using our calculator, 3 squared is 9 plus 4 squared, which is 16. So we have, that is 25. So square root of 25 is what I finished. Therefore, right, let's look at our second example. The question is, find the distance between the points P with coordinates 4, 2 and the point Q with coordinates 2, 5. So the coordinates of the point P is 4, 2 and Q is 2 and 5. And by our formula, the distance PQ is giving us square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 all squared. So over here, our x2, now this is our x1, y1, our x2, and then y2. Do you get it? Good. So we are just going to substitute these values in this formula. Alright. So my x2 is 2 minus my x1, which is 4. So 2 minus 4 squared plus my y2, what is giving us 5 here. So 5 minus y1, which is 2 all squared. So I have my PQ, a distance 2 minus 4 is negative 2 squared, plus 5 minus 2 is 3 squared. Therefore, the distance PQ is giving us, now negative 2 squared is positive 4, and 3 squared here is also 9. So let's come back here. PQ distance is giving us, now 4 plus 9 is 13. So this is square root of 13. So that is our final answer. But then if you want to leave your answer in decimal places, our PQ, so square root of 13 is giving us 3 points, so 3.6 units. So